So, today I will teach you round robin CPU scheduling algorithm. So, this algorithm is somewhat difficult from all the previous algorithms that we have studied till now. Okay. So, here what basically happens is that every process is assigned every process is assigned some time quantum. Okay, and each process will execute till the expiry of its time quantum, and after that, when the time quantum of a current process is expires, then CPU will be given to the next process, and same thing will happen for the next process. The next process will also execute for its time quantum, and after that, if the time quantum expires for the next process also, then again the CPU will given to the further next process. So here basically it means what? That the CPU will be given to the processes according to their arrival time. The same thing that happened in first come first serve algorithm. But here the difference is that there is a fixed time quantum for all the processes. Each of these processes have to execute within this time quantum. For example, let me write here. Suppose there are three processes, P1, P2 and P3. Okay. So, suppose a time quantum given for P1 is suppose 2 seconds. Okay. So, here what will happen? So, let's assume that P1 arrived earlier. After that, P2 arrived. After that, P3 arrived. So, P1 will execute for 2 seconds. After that, P1 will come and sit here. So, now the CPU will be given to P2. P2 will also execute for 2 seconds. Why 2 seconds? Because time quantum is 2 seconds. So, CPU will execute, and after that CPU will come and sit here. P2 will come and sit here. Now, P3 will execute for 2 seconds. After that, P3 will come and sit here. So, you see, it's like a circular queue. Everything is happening in cyclic manner. Okay, so it's better I should explain this algorithm, and after solving one or two numericals, everything will be more clear to you. So let me explain this numerical. So let me explain this algorithm. Sorry. So you see here, you see there are states, that is ready states, and yes, BT represents burst time. TQ represents time quantum. Here I have written execute till termination. Here I have written termination. Here I have written execute for time quantum. TQ means time quantum. Here I have written TQ expires, means time quantum expires. Then process completed, question mark. So this is all. This is the flow chart diagram. So now I am going to explain you. You just draw this figure. Okay. So let's assume the three processes are in the ready queue: P1, P2 and P3. So I am assuming that P1 has arrived first, after that P2 has arrived, after that P3 has arrived. Say the burst time of P1 is 3 seconds. Burst time of P2 is suppose suppose 3 seconds, and the burst time of P3 is suppose 2 seconds. Fine. Now you see what will happen. Since P1 has arrived earlier, so now P1 will be given the CPU, and here just imagine that time quantum given is 2 seconds. Okay. So from the ready queue, a process will be selected. Select a process. So who selects a process from a ready queue? Short-term scheduler. Okay. So from a ready queue, a process will be selected. So since P1 has arrived earlier, so P1 will be selected. So now P1, so CPU is assigned to P1. Okay. So now P1 will execute till its time quantum. What is the time quantum? 2 seconds. Okay. So now P1 will run. So here you see it's a condition written. Whether burst time is less than time quantum. What's the burst time of P1? 3 seconds. So whether 3 seconds is less than 2 seconds? Obviously no. So we will come here, execute for time quantum. It means what? P1 will execute till its time quantum. It means what? P1 will execute for 2 seconds. So P1 will execute for 2 seconds. Okay, it means what? P1 has 1 second left because P1 has executed for 2 seconds. And after 2 seconds, when the time quantum expires, so you see here is another condition, process completed. Obviously, P1 is not completed. Why? Because P1 has executed for 2 seconds, but the burst time of P1 was 3 seconds. It means what? 1 second is left. So it means what? If the process is not completed, then you see there is an arrow mark to the ready queue. It means what? P1 will again come in the ready queue. This time P1 will come and sit here with a burst time of 1 second left. Okay. Now P1 has a burst time of 1 second. So I am removing P1 from here. Okay. Now you see. So after P1, the next process selected is P2, because I have already told you that the process will be selected according to the arrival time. So I have assumed that after P1, P2 has arrived. So now P2 is selected. Select a process, it means what? P2 is selected. Okay. Now you see the burst time of P2 is 3 seconds. Okay. The burst time of P2 is 3 seconds. So now when P1 is running, so just check whether the burst time of P2, whether the burst time of P2 is less than the time quantum. So burst time of P2 is 3 seconds. Is it less than 2 seconds? No, obviously no. So execute for time quantum. It means what? P2 will execute for time quantum. Means what? P2 will execute for 2 seconds. Okay. P2 will execute for 2 seconds. It means what? Since P2 will execute for 2 seconds, so only 1 second will left for P2. Okay. Because the burst time was 3 seconds and it executed for 2 seconds. And after that, if the time quantum expires, you see here is a condition. Process completed. Whether P2 completed? No. P2 has not yet completed. Why? Because still 1 second is left for P2. So now here you see there is an arrow mark. It means what? P2 will go and sit in the ready queue. So this time P2 will sit here. P2 will sit here with 1 second burst time left. You just see everything is happening in a cyclic manner. Initially P1 was here, P1 sit here. Now P2 was here, then P2 sit after P1. See? So now I am removing P1 from here, P2 from here. Now again you see the next process is P3. So P3 will be selected. So now P3 will be selected. And here you see the question is asked whether the burst time of P3 is less than the time quantum. So let's see what's the burst time of P3. The burst time of P3 is 2 seconds. The burst time of P3 is 2 seconds. Okay. So whether the 2 second is less than 2 second, obviously no. Okay. Then what will happen? Then P3 will execute for time quantum. P3 will execute for time quantum means what? P3 will execute for 2 seconds. So now, since the burst time of P3 is also 2 seconds and the time quantum is also 2 seconds, so what will happen? P3 executed fully. It means what? 0 second is left for P3. So when the time quantum expires, a condition should be checked whether process completed. Yes, because P3 has completed its burst time. P3 has completed its task. And since yes, P3 has completed its task, so P3 will go to termination state. P3 will go to termination state and the job of P3 is done. Okay. Now P3 is completed. Now you see, again after P3, now again you see P1 is there. Here I had written P3. Now after P3, which process is there? Again P1 is there, because everything is happening in a cyclic manner. So now P1 will be selected again. Select a process P1. Okay. Now you see, a condition should be checked whether the burst time of P1 is less than the time quantum. Now what is the burst time of P1 left? 1 second. So whether 1 second is less than the time quantum is 2 seconds. Yes, 1 second is less than 2 seconds. It means what? Execute till termination. Anyhow, the process may have to at least execute for its time quantum. Okay. So since 1 second is less than 2 seconds, then here you see execute till termination. It means what? P1 will execute till its termination. P1 will execute for 1 second. And after that, P1 will be terminated. So now P1 executed till 1 second. So now 0 second is left. So now P1 is terminated. So P1 is gone. Okay. Now you see, after P1, which process is there? P2. Now P2 will be selected. Okay. And the same thing will happen for P2. Burst time of P2 is less than time quantum. Yes, 1 second is less than 2 seconds. And since it is yes, then execute till termination. It means what? P2 will be executed till its termination. So P2 will be fully executed. So 0 seconds left for P2 and P2 will be terminated. So P2 is also gone. So here you see how this algorithm worked. It will be more clear once I solve some numericals. It's not too difficult. If you focus here with 100%, then this is one of the most interesting topic of CPU scheduling algorithm. Okay. And here you might have noticed one thing, that all the processes P1, P2, P3, all the processes have executed in a cyclic manner. You see, P1 executed till its time quantum, then P1 came here. After that, P2 selected, P2 executed, P1. After that, P2 came here. After that, P3 came here. In this way. So, round robin algorithm, it uses circular queue data structure. Okay. Here I should write. Round robin CPU scheduling algorithm, it uses circular queue data structure. So in the GATE exam, they may ask which data structure does round robin scheduling algorithm use. So there may be 4 options like circular data structure, circular queue data structure, stack, linked list, something. So you will select this option. Okay. So now let's solve some numerical question based on this RR algorithm. Okay. Thank you.